Olympic sports that people say shouldn't be in the Olympics, but they are. Leave a comment and let us know what you think. When most people think of the Olympics, they imagine peak physical competition, sprinters flying down the track, gymnasts flipping through the air, or swimmers slicing through the water. These are the kinds of sports where the skill, speed, and strength are immediately obvious. But not every Olympic event looks like it belongs on a highlight reel. In fact, some Olympic sports leave viewers puzzled, asking questions like, "Wait, that's an Olympic sport? How is this judged? Why is this more dramatic than it looks?" And so today, we're diving into a curious corner of the Olympic world. Sports that people say shouldn't be in the Olympics. Whether they're misunderstood, overlooked, or just plain strange, these events spark debate and sometimes ridicule, but they all have a story. Let's take a look. Number 1. Dressage. The horse dance party. Imagine a perfectly groomed horse stepping lightly, turning in place, and moving to the rhythm like it's performing a carefully choreographed ballet. That's dressage, one of the oldest equestrian events in the Olympics, dating back to 1912. In dressage, riders guide their horses through a series of precise movements called tests. The goal is harmony, making it look like the horse is dancing on its own. Riders wear top hats and formal coats, and there's no galloping or jumping, just measured, graceful steps. Critics often say that dressage is more about training than athleticism, and that the horse deserves the gold more than the rider. But riders spend years developing a subtle, nearly invisible communication with the horse, using only tiny shifts in body position and tension. That invisible effort is what earns the high scores. Still, to a first-time viewer, it can look like a fancy horse walking in circles to soft music, and that's led many people to wonder, is this sport or just aristocratic theatre? Number 2. Race walking. Run, but don't actually run. Now picture a group of athletes moving at high speed, but with a peculiar, hip-swinging gait that almost looks comical. This is race walking, and it's been part of the Olympic Games since 1904. The rules are strict. One foot must always be in contact with the ground, and the leading leg must be straight from the moment it touches down until it passes under the body. Break those rules, and you risk a red flag and disqualification. Race walkers can finish a mile in under 6 minutes without breaking into a jog. That's faster than most people can run. But to casual viewers, it often looks awkward or even silly. The exaggerated motion, combined with the focused, almost pained expressions of the athletes, has made race walking the target of memes and mockery online. But make no mistake, race walking is brutally tough. It demands extreme endurance, leg strength, and discipline. Just don't call it power walking, unless you want to make a race walker really mad. Number 3. Artistic swimming. Grace under pressure. Artistic swimming, formerly known as synchronized swimming, is like water ballet, turned up to 11. Teams of swimmers perform intricate routines in the water, set to music, while staying perfectly synchronized, all without touching the bottom of the pool. They smile the whole time, even as they hold their breath for over a minute at a time, perform upside-down lifts, and maintain perfect timing with 7 other swimmers. To the average viewer, it may look more like performance art than a sport, but under the glittery swimsuits and waterproof makeup lies a world of training and discipline. Athletes must be strong enough to launch teammates out of the water without any assistance, and coordinated enough to stay in perfect formation while blind underwater. And yes, they use unflavored gelatin to keep their hair in place during routines, because Olympic beauty is serious business, while some dismiss it as too theatrical. Artistic swimming is actually a complex sport that blends swimming, dance, gymnastics, and extreme teamwork into a mesmerizing and often misunderstood event. Number 4. Trampoline. Flipping for gold. If you've ever bounced on a backyard trampoline and thought, hey, I could go to the Olympics, you might want to think again. Trampoline gymnastics is one of the newer Olympic sports. Debuting in 2000, athletes perform a routine of 10 gravity-defying tricks while bouncing more than 30 feet into the air. They twist, flip, rotate, and land with pinpoint accuracy. To the untrained eye, it can seem like a circus act rather than a sport. But the coordination, timing, and body control required are astonishing. One wrong movement, and the athlete could bounce completely off course, or worse, land badly mid-flip. Despite its difficulty, some viewers still argue it doesn't belong in the same league as traditional gymnastics or track and field. Maybe it's the lingering image of kids playing in the backyard, but Olympic trampolists are in a league of their own. Number 5. Curling, the icy strategy game. At first glance, curling seems like the least athletic Olympic event of all. Players slide stones across ice while teammates frantically sweep with brooms to control the speed and direction. It's slow-paced, quiet, and full of yelling that doesn't seem to make much sense. But curling is more than it seems. It's a game of strategy, accuracy, and precision, often compared to chess on ice. The sweeping reduces friction and can curve the path of the stone by inches. Tiny changes that make all the difference in a match. Still, many people watching for the first time can't get past the slow motion and the shouting. Why is this on TV? They ask. Are they just cleaning the ice? But among fans, curling is deeply respected for its skill and mental game. Plus, it has some of the most passionate fan bases in countries like Canada and Sweden. Curling may not be flashy, but it has ice-cold strategy. Number 6. Shooting, the stillest sport. Olympic shooting might be the quietest event in the Games. There are no runs, no flips, no acrobatics, just a competitor, a target, and an extreme focus. But within that silence is a world of intense precision. Shooters train to lower their heart rate, calm their breathing, and control every twitch of their muscles. In fact, top shooters often pull the trigger between heartbeats to minimize movement. Still, for spectators, it's not exactly a thrill ride. There's very little to see, just a competitor raising their rifle and a target being punctured a few hundred feet away. No instant drama, no slow-motion replay of a finish line moment. Yet shooting has been part of the Olympics since the very beginning, in 1896. And while it may lack flair, it demands mental discipline at the highest level. Number 7. Golf, the polite controversy. After more than a century away, golf returned to the Olympics in 2016. That might sound exciting, until you remember that professional golfers already compete in massive global tournaments, like the Masters and the PGA Championship. So what makes Olympic golf different? That's what some critics are still asking. The format is standard stroke play, and the athletes are often already millionaires. And while there's skill involved, the sport's calm pace and quiet crowds make it feel less than Olympic. Still, others argue that golf brings legitimacy and a global fan base to the Games. It's all about perspective. Just don't expect fireworks or a sprint finish. Number 8. Skateboarding. Tricks, culture, and youth. Skateboarding made its Olympic debut in 2021, and it brought a vibe unlike anything else in the Games. Athletes showed up in t-shirts, earbuds, and relaxed attitudes. No coaches yelling from the sidelines. No choreographed routines. Just personal style, creativity, and gravity-defying tricks. Some viewers loved it, calling it raw, authentic, and inclusive. Others, especially traditionalists, didn't get it. How is this a sport? They asked. Where's the uniform? But make no mistake, Skateboarding requires insane balance, timing, and guts. Athletes take real risks, and the judges score based on difficulty, execution, and creativity. Plus, the sport introduced a new generation to the Olympics. One of the gold medalists was just 13 years old. Number 9. Sport climbing. Scaling the wall in seconds. Sport climbing, added in 2021, introduced 3 events: speed, bouldering, and lead climbing. But the most eye-popping is speed climbing, where 2 athletes race up a 15-meter wall in under 7 seconds. It's a blur of arms, legs, and wild determination. But because it's so fast, some spectators say it's over before it gets exciting. Others argue it looks more like a video game than a traditional Olympic sport. Still, it takes intense strength, planning, and nerves of steel to climb a vertical wall at top speed. It's Spider-Man meets strategy, and it's here to stay. Number 10. Breakdancing, added to the 2024 Paris Olympics. Dancers will go head-to-head in one-on-one battles, judged on technique, creativity, and style. It'll be scored, much like figure skating, with technical and artistic components. To some, it's an exciting new chapter in Olympic history. To others, it's the final straw, a sign that the Games are becoming a talent show. So, should these sports be in the Olympics? What do you think? At the end of the day, the Olympics are about celebrating human achievement in all its forms. Whether it's raw speed, calculated precision, creative expression, or unusual skill. Some of these sports may seem strange or even silly, but for the athletes who dedicate their lives to mastering them, they are anything but. So the next time you see a horse doing ballet, or someone sweeping ice with all their might, remember, it may not be your favorite event, but it could be someone else's lifelong dream. And maybe that's the true spirit of the Games. Hit like, smash, subscribe, and join us tomorrow for more amazing fun facts.